Welcome back to the channel. My name is XK0, or K's for short. Today's video we are going to be going over different unit details and kits. This video is going to be broken down to 8 different sections when it comes to the character kits. First one we're going over is the element and rarities. Second one's going to be the type of units like support and melee or defense. And then we're going to go over like stats and cards, Z abilities, kit details, gauges, tag gauges, active gauges, tags, everything that has to do with certain characters or with every character in the game. We are going to go over them, and then when we're going over the character details, I will have different examples for different characters with different mechanics and or unique abilities. So without any further ado, let's get into this video and go straight into the first thing we need to talk about. Alright, the first thing that we need to go over when it comes to unit details is the color and the rarities of the characters. First, starting off with colors. So we have red, blue, yellow, green, purple, and then light. And there's also a dark type color that I don't have up at the moment. There's only one unit in game that has this typing. Types are really good to learn because you can know what characters are effective against other characters. For instance, red strong against yellow, yellow strong against purple, purple green, green blue, and blue strong against red. And then light is neutral against all the other types. The only thing light is strong against is dark, which dark is then strong against the rest of the types. The color wheel is pretty simple. You play the game for any amount of time, you should know this pretty well. And if you're new, just learn it. It doesn't take up. It's not that hard to learn the whole color wheel. Along from colors, characters will also have different rarities, such as this Super Saiyan Goku right here is a rarity of a hero. Hero characters have been out in the game since it first started, and I don't even know the last time they released a new hero character. It's been years since they released any kind of heroes. Hero characters are not very important to the game. They have their place in the game for like the story mode, or whenever you are trying to grind out CC as a new player. You can grind Chrono Crystals through just soul boosting the characters through the soul boost panels. Right here is you just go through here and max all these out. For every hero character you have, you get a lot of crystals for it. Other than that, hero characters really have no gameplay other than story mode. The next rarity is Extreme. That's this Extreme Super Saiyan Goku. Extreme are just one step above heroes, but also are not used hardly ever. Certain extreme units will be used for niche teams, but other than out of niche teams, they're not used at all. They're also used mostly for story mode. You won't see these in any of the PvP unless it's for a niche team, which is very rarely. Then if you were to take a step up from extreme characters, you have Sparking Rarity is kind of the most common rarity in the game, and is also, you will see them in PvP pretty often. Most of the time as bench units, but they are seen pretty often and they can be used. New 1% Sparking characters can make the top 10 list, but not very often. Then a step above Sparking rarity is the Sparking Legends Limited rarity, which is the top 2 rarities. Is one of the top 2. It's the more common of the two. Legends Limited characters have been out for a while, but they always release new Legends Limited characters monthly. Even during big celebrations, they'll release 2 to 6 a month, depending on, or 2 to 4 actually, depending on what month it is and what celebration is going on. But Legends Limited is probably the most common type you'll see in PvP because they are some of the best units in game. And then if you were to go one step above Legends Limited, you would have the Ultra Rarity, most premium units in the game, and they are hard to pull. There's only 3 free-to-play Ultras. The Super Saiyan Goku is a free-to-play one, and you can tell an Ultra character because of the ink animation whenever you just hover on the character, and also whenever you summon the character, you will get a ink brush animation like this. You'll get the animation upon summoning. Once you get the unit through a summon, But yeah, that's the rarities and the colors of the units. The next thing we'll go over is the battle style of the characters. Uh, every character will have its individual different type of battle style. So, like the Beast Gohan we have right here, he's a melee type style, or battle style. If you look, you can tell right here by the element of the character, it says melee type. And same thing will be said for Turles here, will be a defense type. This Goku will be a range type. And the Supreme Kai is going to be a support type. Interesting fact to note about the support types. There's only 2 Legends Limited support type units in the game, and there are no Ultra support types. Support types are mostly relegated to the Sparking rarity, especially nowadays. The big difference between the battle type of the characters is their stats. With these top 3, support type is not going to come down to the stats. It's mostly down to their actual abilities in the kit, which we'll get in detail with later. But to compare the different characters together, like this Goku right here is a range type character, so range type characters most of the time will have no blast armor on their strike cards and will have a higher blast attack. As you can tell by looking at the stats on this Goku, is this Ultra Goku has 254,000 blast attack and 239,000 strike attack, which is common for ranged type characters. The defense type characters most time will have higher defenses than the other types, and their strike attack and blast attack will usually be slightly lower than a ranged type unit or a melee type unit, but they will have higher defenses. Like this one has about 158,000 per each, and it's a little bit higher than the rest of the characters. And also, the defense type units most time will have self-healing or disruption, kind of like a support type character, but not as in-depth as support types. And the melee characters will always have a higher strike attack. Most time melee type characters will have high strike and blast attack, just like blast type or range type characters. Also, melee type characters most time will have a blast armor associated with their strike card. Now that we're kind of getting into more of the kit details, we'll switch over to looking at more in-depth on kits. I have the Super Saiyan God Goku pulled up so we can go over how to look at characters' stats and cards. And to look at a character's details, you first need to hold down on the character and it'll pull up this page. Then down at the bottom, you'll see a Show Details tab. You click on the Show Details and it'll pull up the character's first stats. This is where you can look at the character's health, strike attack, blast attack, strike defense, blast defense, critical, key restore speed, and equipment slots. Every character will have 3 equipment slots. I don't think there's any character in the game that has anything different. And this all comes down to the Soul Boost panel. So here we'll see that this God Goku has 2.3 million health, 224,000 strike attack, 216,000 blast attack, 143,000 strike defense, 147,000 blast defense, 4,000 critical, and 2,000 key restore speed. And as we go down the character page, or the character details, we'll see that it's a episode God of Destruction Beerus Saga S is what episode it's from. It's from the God of Destruction Beerus Saga Super. And then we'll see the cards held by the character, which means whenever you add this character to your team and you use it in battle, it will have these cards thrown into your deck to add another strike, another blast card. Different characters will add different cards. Certain characters add green cards, and those are really sought after for green card spam teams. So it's good to look at the cards held, and then at the very bottom you have the character tags, which this one is Saiyan, Sun Family, Super Saiyan God, and God Key. Then we go over to the arts page, which shows the card arts. Which for this Goku, he has 5. All characters will have the top 4. Every character will have a strike, a blast, a blue card, and a green card. Every character in the game will have that. Not every character will have this ultimate card. Some characters will have awakened cards as well. And I will put up an example right now on screen. So the strike cards, blast cards, blue cards, and green cards all will be randomly drawn. Some cards will force draw these cards, but On average, they'll just be randomly drawn to one of the cards you can select. The ultimate cards, for the most part, every character will only have access to one of them. Some characters have access to more than one, but that's in their kit details. So this Goku has access to the Limit Breaker Kamehameha for his ultimate. The next thing we want to look at is the Z abilities of each character. Every character will have its own unique Z ability, which you'll see over here in the abilities tab. And if you were to hit this drop down arrow for the Z ability 4, you see that this Goku gives plus 22% to max base health and plus 25% to base critical for all tag God Ki units during battle. So whenever you're looking at a character and you want to know if it's good for your team, you definitely want to be looking at the Z ability and see what the Z ability gives, as well as the stats of the characters, and trying to get a right combination of both. I'll be going more in depth over this when I make my team building guide. But right now we're just going into how we can read the characters. So every character will also have a main ability, which most of the time requires some timer counts to elapse, and then you can activate it. This Super Saiyan God Goku, his main ability is Behold the Power of a God. It draws the ultimate card, Limit Breaker Kamehameha, next, and it requires 25 timer counts to elapse. So if you go back to the arts page, you can see right here is the Limit Breaker Kamehameha. And if you can tell, it deals major impact damage, plus 5 to enemy substitution count for 15 timer counts on hit. This Goku is a older character, so it doesn't have his kit details are not very complicated, and there's not a whole lot to read on it. As you can see right here, he has his main ability, his Z ability, then it has 2 unique abilities. As we get into the newer characters will have way more to their unique ability. Older characters seem to be more simple. Like the Super Saiyan God Goku, it has Realm of the Gods. The following effects occur when battle starts. Nullify attribute downgrades for 2 timer counts to self. Applies buff effect, nullify abnormal conditions for up to 2 times to self. 50% to own key recovery for 5 timer counts. When key is 30 or lower after using an arts card. And then he also has the unique ability Higher. 30% to damage inflicted when a tag Saiyan other than this character is a battle member. 30% to damage inflicted and restores own health by 30% when 2 allies are downed. Okay. Alright, and now we will back out of the God Goku character. Try to look at some more unique type of abilities that certain characters will have. This team pulled up to kind of represent all the different type of mechanics you can get in the game. There's some more that I need to pull up after this, but these are the first 6 we're going to go over. And I figure since we're right on God Goku, we'll go ahead and switch over to his other God Goku. He's a Legends Limited character, and the reason why I'm pulling him up is to show one simple ability he has in his unique abilities. Now Blue's right here with Legendary Crimson Warrior. Drop this down, and we scroll down. I will show you the effect I'm looking at as soon as I find it. So as you can tell, this is a newer character. It just came out just this last anniversary, and you can tell that he has a lot more to his kit details than the previous God Goku does. Oh, right here, very bottom of this one. Here, restores own health by 30% only once when reaching 0. What this is called a endurance character. So what this means is that if they're attacked by like a Rising Rush and they don't cancel their endurance, and they don't have like a cancel effect to cancel this out, this God Goku will survive being killed one time and restore up to 30%. And to follow the same logic right here with what characters can do, this is what we call an endurance. And then we have a revival effect, which is this Pacon has. And let me go over to the ability so you can read what a revival effect looks like in the unique ability. Right, very first thing, when this own health reaches 0, switch to Super Gogeta and revive with 100% health. So what this means is that this Pacon will then transform into this Gogeta once he is knocked out. And Super Gogeta will have his own list of unique abilities compared to the Pacon character. This is what we would call a revival unit, which means that they revive they either come back as a transformed unit or they come back as a different unit. In this case, it goes from Pakon to Super Gogeta. And then the third type of effect that's similar to this Turtless has. And see if I can find it in the ability real quick. I believe it's in the unique power. Let me see if I can find it super fast. Right here. Remain undefeated, and the following effects occur when own health reaches 0. Activates once. So this is called a comeback effect. Instead of a revive or an endurance, it's called a comeback. And it does this whole list of things happen as soon as he gets knocked down to 0. The main difference between a comeback effect and a revival effect is it stays the same character. Usually they do a lot of things at once. So a comeback character will pull off all this extra stuff down here where he draws at most 4 new cards, restores own health by 70%, key by 100, and charges his own unique gauge. All of these effects down here. And then moving away from the when health reaches 0 effects, we will look at something called a Synchro Gauge. This is new into Legends as of 2024. Synchro Gauges, there's only 2 units as of right now that have this, and we're hoping that they will release more this year. The Synchro Gauge, if you look over here, it will allow a character to fuse into a fusion character. And if we go down here to the Vegeta and or Goku, go to the Vegeta side, it will have it right here in combination of Shatter Adversity. It will slightly charge on the Synchro Gauge every time a character uses their switch ability. And if you're new and you're wondering what a switch ability is, there are units in the game that are tag units, such as this Goku and Vegeta, which means that it's 2 characters in one. And you can tell by, well, for starters, it would go all the way out, where it shows both of the characters on their this little card here. That is a tag character, and there are multiple tag characters in the game. Tag characters have their own unique, that's the best way to put it, their own unique abilities, which is the tag switch. And you can look at right here, the switch ability takes over where their main ability would be. And once it's full, it will say tag switch to Vegeta. Then these effects will also happen once you can hit the switch gauge, and it requires the switch gauge to be full. It's usually, if you want to see how to increase the switch gauge, for the most part, I think every tag unit has this, to where if they're hit by a enemy's arts cards, or they use their own arts cards, their switch gauge will fill up. That's how every switch gauge works in the current game. Now, the reason I have them on this list right now is because they also have the Synchro Gauge, which is new. So, along with being able to tag switch between Goku and Vegeta, once you get their Synchro Gauge full, they can then fuse into Gogeta. Right here, where it says fuse into Gogeta with 100% HP. So, these two, once they're, regardless of where their HP is at, whenever they can Synchro Gauge, when the Synchro Gauge is full, you can click it, and it will allow them to fuse, and they will come back at full health as Gogeta. Then once they become Gogeta, their switch ability gets changed into a main ability right here, where you can just click it after 15 timer counts. And one of the other unique aspects of the game is transforming characters, like this Garlic Jr. This Garlic Jr. has a main ability that allows him to transform after 25 timer counts elapses. It can transform to Super Garlic Jr., then it does all these effects as well. And then every character that transforms will have an after transformation main ability as well that they can use. And these usually are after 15 timer counts. I think some of them are a little bit longer, but I think most of them are right at 15 timer counts, which is about average. We go back over here to the Supreme Kai, where I said that I would come back later to try to discuss the difference between support type characters and how their kits work. But where the support type units really shine is in their kits and the different effects they will apply either to themselves or to your own team or the enemy's team. For instance, the Supreme Kai is a really good support unit because what he does is he seals the opponent's cards depending on what he does. And he also restores his own health. Remember, he has his own health recovery here, but the main thing that he does that makes him worth using is his seals enemies strike cards when he uses a strike card. And right here, seals blast special or blast green and blue cards whenever he uses a blast arts card. The sealed arts cannot be used for 3-timer counts. So if you're having to start off a combo with a Supreme Kai and you use both a strike card and a blast card, your opponent cannot use any cards at all. So this is where like support characters are really good because they will disrupt your opponent from being able to do stuff. All right, now getting away from Supreme Kai just a little bit, I recorded some video on the side for some gauges and mechanics in the game that I didn't go in detail over, and I'll just kind of rapid fire through these as I pull them up on screen. My avatar will not be there because I forgot to pull it up during the recording. But I'll just briefly describe what they're doing, and then we'll probably be ending the video shortly after that because I don't want to make this video any longer than it already is. So the first gauge we have up is a defensive gauge for this Triku. Every time he gets hit, the gauge will go up, and at the end of when the gauge gets completely full, it will heal and do some added effects so you can read in this kit. But the next one is the Gammas that, as they switch, the gauge fills, and once it becomes 100% full, they will activate a core breaker mode, and as the core breaker mode goes off, the gauge will count down. Once the time is elapsed on the core breaker mode, they will do a huge offensive attack that will do a lot of damage. If this is the finishing attack on the opponent, it will do an LF like you can see right now in the video. The next one's going to be a charging gauge, which is on the old LF cell, and you'll see here in just a second how that works. Yeah, as the cell charges, his gauge will fill from him just charging ki. I believe the next one is the Path Power Kid Goku cell, or Path Power Kid Goku gauge, which fills as he gets Dragon Balls. So the more Dragon Balls you get, the more the gauge is filled until it's completely full. And then this cell has a over time effect gauge, where as time elapses, it fills. And then once he is knocked out, this cell has a unique ability where he will self-destruct once his health reaches 0, which is self-destruct cell right here. Once he self-destructs, he does some damage to all the opposing characters, but that's the end of the cell's gameplay. Then you have Beast Gohan, who Ultra Beast Gohan, same as Goku and Frieza, have a Rise and Rush counter, and this Gohan has a unique ability that he only has right now. It's called a active gauge down the bottom right, where he launches a special beam cannon. Then we have another defensive style gauge where it fills up as they get hit, but once it's full, they will do a counter attack, which is what this Gogeta is doing right now. Once again, my name is Kaze, and if you enjoyed the video, please like, subscribe, and comment down below everything I got wrong in this video, because I know there's some parts of the video that I got wrong and that I probably overlooked when I was editing. But yeah, if you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe, and let me know how bad I did. Alright, thank you.